Then came the second expedition. In 2016, a smaller team of divers and technicians was sent to investigate beneath the glacial entry points created by the first mission. Equipped with autonomous submersibles and sonar imaging, they planned to map the lake's contours. The descent took them through an otherworldly landscape, walls of translucent ice glowing with refracted light, deep crevices stretching into blackness. The deeper they went, the more the radio signals broke apart. Static filled their comms, and faint distortions began to appear on the sonar feed, shapes that moved against the current. One diver later described the moment their floodlights illuminated the bottom. "It wasn't rock," he said quietly. "It looked like metal, curved, polished, and old. At first, they thought it was a natural formation, some frozen geological anomaly. But when the submersible drew closer, the contours revealed patterns symmetrical, deliberate, a structure." The footage recovered from that dive was never released in full. Only fragments surfaced, flickers of blue light, static, and the panicked voice of a crew member shouting, "It's moving." Then, silence. Official reports claimed a technical failure, equipment malfunction due to freezing temperatures. The divers who survived refused to speak publicly. Those who did hinted at something alive, but not biological. Scientists speculated endlessly. Could it be an ancient meteorite encased in ice? A geothermal vent producing illusions? But others proposed darker theories that something intelligent might have existed beneath Antarctica long before modern humans, preserved in the depths, waiting. What truly happened beneath the Vostok ice remains a closely guarded mystery. The Russian base continues to operate under heavy secrecy, its data shielded from foreign access. Occasional satellite anomalies still appear strange. Electromagnetic pulses emanating from the region, quickly dismissed as instrument error. In the years since, countless documentaries, blogs, and amateur researchers have tried to piece together the puzzle. Some say it was an alien probe, ancient and dormant, disturbed after eons of sleep. Others insist it was an unknown life form, a relic of prehistoric evolution, something humanity was never meant to awaken. Whatever the truth, the men who were there will never forget what they saw or what they felt. When asked privately, one survivor said only this: "The ice wasn't holding something down, it was keeping something in." The official reports ended with reassurance. No biological hazards detected. Samples classified as non-threatening. But in the hidden corridors of Russia's research division, far from the frozen silence of the Vostok station, another story was quietly unfolding. The recovered water, those tiny vials sealed in stainless steel containers, had been sent not only to civilian laboratories, but also to military research centers. One of them, located just outside Murmansk, was known for its work on deep-sea microorganisms and biological resilience studies. Within weeks of the samples arriving, the facility was placed under lockdown. It began with small things. Researchers reported unusual growths forming inside the sample chambers. The organisms multiplied even at subzero temperatures, something no known Earth life could do. Their structures were strange, filament-like, crystalline, refracting light as though alive. When observed under an electron microscope, they appeared to rearrange themselves, forming clusters that resembled primitive neural networks. But when the lights in the lab dimmed, something even stranger happened. The filaments emitted a faint, rhythmic glow. At first, scientists thought it was fluorescence, triggered by their instruments. But the rhythm was not random. It pulsed in intervals 5 seconds on, 5 seconds off. When the team recorded the pattern and converted it into sound frequencies, it produced a tone low, humming, almost like a mechanical vibration. And when that tone was played back near the samples, the filaments responded, changing shape, synchronizing their pulses. The lead biologist, Dr. Elena Pavlova, wrote in her log, "We might be looking at a new form of communication, not chemical, not biological. It's as if the structure itself reacts to energy. It listens." Within a month, 3 of the facility's researchers fell ill. Their symptoms were unlike anything documented before: rapid onset fever, vivid hallucinations, and severe disorientation. They spoke of voices coming from within the ice, whispering in languages no one could understand. Their EEG scans showed unusual brainwave patterns, rhythmic, synchronized with the same 5-second pulse observed in the samples. The research was abruptly classified. Pavlova and her team were transferred to undisclosed locations. When journalists later attempted to contact them, their credentials had been erased, as though they had never existed. Meanwhile, satellite data from NASA's Earth Observatory detected new anomalies above the Vostok region, weak electromagnetic signals, periodic and structured, emanating from beneath the ice. The pattern was nearly identical to the frequency discovered in Pavlova's recordings, but the signal wasn't fading, it was growing stronger. In 2018, another expedition, this time joint Russian-Chinese, was quietly approved. Its official purpose was atmospheric research, but leaked manifests revealed deep-sea submersibles and electromagnetic survey equipment among their cargo. For the first week, transmissions from the team were normal routine weather reports, ice core readings, environmental data. Then, on the 8th day, all communications ceased. When contact was finally re-established, only 2 members of the 14-person crew responded. Their message was brief: "Do not come for us. Seal the tunnels." Then, silence. Weeks later, the Chinese government released a carefully worded statement, calling the loss a tragic accident caused by environmental collapse. Russia said nothing. But satellite imagery taken days after the transmission showed something extraordinary. A section of ice, nearly 2 kilometers wide, had fractured in a perfect circular pattern. Beneath it, a faint blue luminescence glowed through the frozen surface, visible even from orbit. That light has since disappeared, but in the years that followed, reports from nearby research stations describe strange phenomena: compasses spinning erratically, auroras forming in unnatural shapes, and faint vibrations beneath the ice that could be felt, not heard. In 2020, an independent researcher named David Aiken, a former physicist turned documentarian, obtained fragments of the original Vostok data through a whistleblower within the Antarctic research community. Aiken analyzed the frequencies captured from beneath the lake and found something chilling. The harmonic structure of the signal matched not random noise, but a pattern consistent with mathematical encoding, a sequence resembling prime numbers. It wasn't nature, it was intentional. Aiken's documentary, The Pulse Beneath the Ice, was released online for just 48 hours before being taken down under a copyright strike filed by an unnamed entity. He vanished soon after. His last public message was a post that read simply, "They found the source. There is, perhaps, a reason humanity was never meant to disturb certain places." Antarctica is one of the last untouched frontiers on Earth, a vast frozen cathedral of silence, preserved by isolation and indifference. The idea that something ancient and intelligent could be buried there, sealed away by nature itself, is as haunting as it is humbling. We've always believed the ice hides history. Few have dared to consider it might also hide something alive. Even now, whispers persist among scientists and satellite operators. Late at night, when the polar storms quiet and the auroras burn green above the ice, faint electromagnetic echoes can still be detected. A pulse, steady and unyielding, coming from deep beneath Lake Vostok. Every 5 seconds, the same rhythm recorded years ago, the same message repeating through time and ice. No one can say with certainty what it means, but one theory, passed quietly among researchers who have seen the data, suggests that the pulse isn't random, it's counting down. And if that's true, then whatever is beneath that ice hasn't finished waking up.